All right. So hi Harsh. So those who don't know Harsh is an entrepreneur, dropout turned entrepreneur, and he has been working with his own recruitment service called Tech Career. And in the past, he has worked with worked to create a lot of SaaS startups. One of them called DevKit, and he has also been in touch with people's like Varun Maya, Jacob Singh, and Farza from BuildSpace, if you know that. He has been a Zful alumni as well and a BuildSpace alumni as well. So more to you, Harsh. If you want to add something on the intro, feel free.
Thank you so much for the kind intro. I think that covers everything. Mostly, I started with programming or building video games back in high school with Unity. All of my high school was wasted in that, 8 to 12, just like trying to copy paste code, make it work, and try to make these little 2D, 3D games.
Hmm.
Uh, I think that was like proper coding. I don't think you can count HTML or the QBasic coding that we used to do earlier in high school. So video game programming was my first exposure to real programming. And as years went by, I tried different things like PHP, web development, Python during high school. And then, yeah, Fate had its course. um, I wanted to go abroad for my bachelor's, got some good offers like NYU with a 100K scholarship, but usually abroad colleges, yeah, even after scholarships are quite expensive. So
Hmm.
I couldn't end up going there. I joined a local college, but when you get 10x, you're not happy with X. So I was looking for a way out. Found a coding bootcamp out of all places through an Instagram ad. Um,
What was that bootcamp?
the Coding Ninjas career
Ah,
camp bootcamp.
okay.
So, I mean, definitely social media has its pros if you use it in the right way.
Yeah.
Um, and yeah, I joined that boot camp. Usually it is meant for like final year or pre-final year students.
Hmm.
But somehow I managed to convince them, hey, let me get in. I just want to like do things on my own, work for a couple of years and want to start my business. So
Hmm.
I'm not really keen on, doing a college that too in India. Um, and yeah, luckily, I was able to follow that plan exactly. I 2 years, like the first placement that I got through Coding Ninjas was at this company called Avalara,
Hmm.
a tax software company. I worked with their Chennai office building internal tools. I worked there for about 2 years, and like definitely whatever I learned in those 2 years has helped me to create products independently and everything because within a corporate I was able to get like a startup culture
Ah,
because a Chennai team was like itself an acquired startup called Index.
okay.
So it was like getting to work within a startup within a corporate, which was great. And within those 2 years, I got to work on a bunch of things: web development, Elasticsearch, Kafka, DevOps. So I had like exposure to building end-to-end apps in production um, for like a corporate. So I think yeah, that covered all the skills I needed to build a product independently. And when I felt confident,
What age it was? You were 19 or 20, I guess.
yeah, I joined the company as an intern when I was like 18.
Oh,
Uh,
okay.
I think in a few months I was converted to full time. So
At the age of 18.
yeah, yeah.
Were you allowed to work back then? Did you had a PAN card back then when you were 18?
Maybe I think so. I had by then. Yeah, yeah. I had a bank account set up by then. Yes, yes. I think things worked out, and then eventually got my first debit card, credit card. Uh, that felt good. Um, but yeah, when I was in Chennai, I was buying utensils
So
as an
if you're
engineer.
comfortable sharing, what was the stipend or the salary at the age of 18? I guess 3 years back?
Yeah, this was 2020, I think. Yes, 2020 I joined.
Pre-COVID, right?
Pre-COVID, yeah. I
Yeah,
think just 2 or 3 weeks of working there, COVID happened.
yeah.
Um,
How much
so
were
I
you getting paid
really,
as 18-year-old?
yeah, I think our internship stipend was something around 35 to 40,000 per
Okay,
month.
that's a good stipend. Even today, not back full.
Yeah, I guess I think they were generous, and full time was I think a little bit more like 65,000 per month.
Hmm.
I think that was probably the in hand part. Um, yeah, and I didn't know that. I mean, on the offer letter, the stocks were not there, and I was not expecting stocks. But we also got stocks later on.
Okay.
But I left early on, so my
Hmm.
all of my stocks didn't invest.
Hmm.
But uh, definitely those stocks was a good bonus surprise.
All right. Also, what's up with these gamers and programmers? Like how I know at least 10 like kick-ass programmers who did
Mhm.
not want to program. They just wanted to play games and build games. That's it. So what's up with
They
it?
are
Do you
rich
think any correlation between no starting early as a video game fanatic and then try to building mods and cracks of them and then eventually getting into programming through games? Like,
and I think, yeah, there's I think video games is the most fun thing you can build as a coder, right? Like,
mm,
what fun is like building a web app, doing CRUD and all of that? That's like bullshit. Building games where you can kill some zombies, splatter some blood, get those points, rack up on the leaderboard, beat your friends. I think that's fun, right? And programming itself sometimes can be
boring.
challenging, boring. So if you have something fun as the end result, then it is much more motivating. That's why I also recommend people like who want to start into programming. Like, uh, I mean, if you start with something like, let's say, you'll be like crying, like, why am I doing this? Why am I doing that? Um, I mean, that's for like a general person, right? Like,
Yeah,
some people find maths, algebra, all of that very fascinating.
yeah.
So for them, starting with C doesn't matter, but like for the layman who wants to like do programming, right? As a self-taught developer, like building web apps is better because they can see things happening right in front of them. Um, and games is the even better part of that. You can see things moving around, shooting bullets, making a character move, and all of that. So um, I think that's the natural extension because even video games, right? Like a lot of video games have that simulator uh,
Mm,
part in them that you can build your own characters, create your own worlds. Then, like, obviously, like if you like something, you go deeper into that.
exactly.
Like, I like some. Let's say you like some video game movie series. You try to go deep into that. Go to the fandom pages. Read all the quirks about your favorite characters. Similarly, I think people want to like um, tweak their games to make them better. I personally did not do any mod stuff that people do. I think people have made mods for Grand Theft Auto.
They have Punjab mod where you can kick someone out of a truck.
Yeah, you can like urinate on the roads. These things.
Pancho
Uh,
Friday. Yeah.
yeah, perfect, perfect, right? And there is also like Minecraft servers,
Crazy,
Roblox.
crazy Minecraft. I think the best thing that has came out of Java is like Minecraft Java server. That's phenomenal stuff. Also, parents, if you're watching this, let your kids play video games. They are gonna turn up like Harsh and not like me, who did not play video games actually back then. So if you want to get your kids into entrepreneurship programming, let them play games. All right. So
That's a nice way to motivate people. Yeah, I think games are fascinating, and yeah, I think pursuing game programming might not be as lucrative as a general programmer.
hmm,
That's why also, like, because if you compare the gaming industry,
yeah,
definitely it's much bigger than Bollywood, Hollywood.
yeah,
But
true.
then if you compare the gaming industry to the software industry, it's very minimal.
Yeah,
So that's why people are kind of underpaid there, and people put up with that because building games is so fun.
exactly,
Uh,
true.
so if they are getting to survive, getting paid decently, they still are putting up with that, even though the same programmer can earn much more by working at big tech.
Hmm,
Because I think game programming is kind of crazy. You are doing, yeah, you have to make games very performant. You have to know optimization techniques. You really need to be good at craft. AI people have been doing AI stuff in games since a long while, path finding, all of that. So and yeah, people say algorithms, right? Algorithms, games is all about algorithms,
exactly,
like
exactly, true.
pathfinding, everything, even like the smallest things, right? Like let's say you
Pac-Man.
want to see if an enemy detected you or not. There is
Yeah,
that whole conical view that you have to
Exactly, true.
calculate, and vector, like all of your maths, everything gets used up there, and it's so fun. And I think if, yeah, probably like high school education can be reinvented, at least some parts, especially vector maths and everything, if it was taught in the context of like games, like enemy detecting, doing that dot product, calculating distance between things and everything. Because games really give you like we have these word problems in maths, right? But you can visualize those math problems in games and
Yeah.
see that. So I think there's a good scope to like make game programming as a subject, or an
What's your
experience.
favorite game to play these days? Are you playing something?
These days. So this is pretty old, but Metal Gear Phantom Pain.
Ah,
Uh,
yes, heard of it.
and interestingly, its demo is like is the highest, is the most expensive demo. The demo of even that game is like 10, 20, $30.
Oh wow, I didn't know that.
But it's so good. I mean, yeah, it feels like a theatrical experience.
Hmm.
Um, I yeah, and if you see the collection these kinds of games make, yeah, these are equivalent to blockbusters, and I think their budgets are even smaller, and they end up
Hmm.
making so much more money. Like Black Wukong or Black Myth,
Black Myth
Black,
Wukong. They took the world by storm. Like
more like a
highest
billion
played game
dollars.
on Steam in like 2 weeks. Like
That's
crazy.
great.
Everybody's talking about Black Myth.
So I think the games market is rapidly increasing now that people have much more disposable income,
Hmm.
and consoles are becoming more affordable.
Hmm.
Like, yeah, I bought a PS4, I think just this year. Is the best thing that ever happened to me. It's the best way. I bought a second hand PS4 for 14, 15,000, and
Okay.
then 800 rupees subscription.
Yeah.
So collectively, this is the most affordable way to waste your life. You get so many games within this subscription that you can't finish it in one lifetime. You have whole series of Assassin's Creed, um, over like 100 premier titles
Hmm.
that finish on the PlayStation subscription. Um, but I mean, I've been playing games that I wanted to play since a long time.
Hmm.
That Metal Gear, and I finished some recently, like For Honor, which is like a medieval battle game, and Bulletstorm. Yeah, that is a game that deserved sequel, but it hasn't come up yet. It's like a first-person shooter where you can do style kills. You can
Okay.
put the enemy into spikes and get points for that. Um, you can blow your enemy's head with a shotgun. You get extra points for that.
The
And
most creative way to kill people. Get
yeah, and you can stun your boss and kick and shoot them in the bum. You get extra points for that. So it's a very fun
if
game.
you are watching it, increase my salary. Otherwise. So okay, so like gaming, right? Like then how did the gaming Harsh, like the Harsh used to play games and all that, used to work at corporate in Chennai, switched from all this as to getting his own company startup, getting into entrepreneurship and all that thing. How did that transition came from, and when did that transition came from?
I mean, I think the building journey was started in school.
Hmm.
I think one motivation to build games was to get rich, publish them on App Store, run ads, make money. None of that happened. But yeah, all of that was building the muscle of being consistently showing up every day, experimenting with things and trying things out. Yeah, I think any amount of success is like a long term effort, right?
Hmm.
And during college also, during the time, I think I was 1 or 2 years, 1 or 2 semesters in college.
Hmm.
During that time I was also building something. During my job also I was building something. I built like a learning platform. It took me like, I ran ads, Instagram ads during that time. um, so I was like building products continuously.
Hmm.
um, I think that I mustered the courage to first time quit when I found like a product that was doing well in the market.
Hmm.
And I thought, hey, I can also build something like this. And if this guy can do this, probably I can make 10% of this. I can also try this out. Um, and I was also feeling out that, yeah, things can't be things might not be that hard. I took a leap of faith when I first quit my job. And yeah, when I had like a sort of a clear idea that what I want to build and which direction I want to go in, I took a leap of faith, and like this is the right age to take risk, right? You have no responsibility in everything. Um, so I towards the end of my job, when I figured out that I have a clear idea of what I want to build, I put in my papers and then I built like an MVP for 1 or 2 weeks and launched it on Product Hunt. Um, yeah, I think few people try to purchase the product on the launch day, but payment gateway issues and stuff like that was there. But definitely that was the first feeling that, hey, I'm sitting in India
Hmm.
building something for a week or two and I've launched it and
Hmm.
people across the world are interested in buying it, which was like a eye opener moment that that this is possible. um, Eventually I think none of zero sales happened through that. um, but like I met someone on LinkedIn who was interested in my product and he bought the first subscription for it. So that's when the revenue graph went from tuck to tuck, in the upward direction. The Meri Boni wahi tab. And um, yeah, and I think I tried to sell it to my friends and everything. I was trying that out. But I think after 3 or 4 months, like I was clueless, like what I'm doing now. So I think my journey, entrepreneurial journey, has been like taking step one forward, backward, two steps forward, again backward. After 3 4 months, I went back to a job. This time at early stage startup, and I worked there for about a year, and that was a good experience because now I got to see that, okay, how do you build a company from scratch?
Hmm.
How do you ideate every day? How do you think about different things? Because in an early stage startup, you are much more involved in all of the things, like how much revenue is coming in, what is the marketing strategy, and which kind of areas we want to pursue in the long term.
Hmm.
So working 1 year there was definitely very fascinating, and like more than engineering, I learned how to use a software called Airtable.
But the backbone of your,
Yeah,
company right now.
yeah. So I think that is one of the things that I learned. Yeah, that in an early stage startup, yeah, you might not have the time to build custom software all the
Yeah,
time.
exactly.
So yeah, pick whatever is the easiest way to get your thing done.
Hmm.
And even we were like two engineers and there were two co-founders. Um, and so my counterpart also like used Airtable a lot. We could have built like scripts and everything to automate the stuff we had, but Airtable was a simple thing that everybody could use.
Hmm.
Uh, we saved a lot of development time by using it in our stack.
Hmm.
I think that was one more learning of how to be a scrappy, builder, trying to make things work with in the simplest way possible. And that was one good experience for a whole year. And then I again gained confidence, and then I went again full time into entrepreneurship. That was the second launch of DevKit in 2023. That was the one that was definitely huge for me. We got like 300 upvotes, 5,000 signups, $2,000 3,000 in revenue within the launch week, and I used to post weekly updates because we were also doing build space during that time.
Yes. Yeah.
So if anybody doesn't know who is watching build space, it was
It was. That hurts. It was.
yeah, it hurts. Build was build space was definitely, I think, for a lot of people one of the best experiences of their life.
Me too. Like
Um,
past 6 weeks, right? That went into Bill's space. I just went all in into, building. Like earlier, I used to give, oh, I have a job, I have college and all that. How can I build something alongside that? And then I just joined Bill's space. I think I saw your tweet or someone else's tweet that this is happening, joining. I think you told me at PH Meetup that you should go
oh,
for the
nice! So
Build
you did
space.
S5.
Yes, I did S5. I was a graduate. I did all 6 weeks. I think I have the emerald on my mail somewhere.
Oh,
So,
nice.
so yeah, I just built Sherlock into 6 weeks. Like I would not think of building, it was just me and one of my friend who just raw dogged it like 6 weeks. So that was crazy. Also with build space, right? With so many risks that you have taken in your career, like first dropping out of college, then again dropping out of your job, went into building, and then again stopping building and went into another startup job, and then again getting out of from there and building something else. How was your relationship with parents or friends, went there? Like what was their reaction? Did they stop you, or like क्या कर रहा है मतलब थोड़ा सा समझाओ? How was the
So
experience
basically,
navigating the society between all these steps?
yeah, I think I won't recommend this to anyone because when you do something different, you kind of lose on relatability here.
Ah,
Uh, you don't know where you are in life, what if you're doing good, if you're doing bad. Because when you are in college, when you are in a like institution, you have peers, and you know, okay, this guy is doing this guy is doing that. On an average, am I doing better or worse?
hmm,
Uh, and yeah, I think it feels too good to know that I think you feel you belong to a group, right? And it's
hmm,
humans are social animals, and it feels more comfortable when you belong in a group.
exactly.
So I think being a dropout, it's a very small community of people who do it,
Especially
and
in India.
yeah, and people who do it like yeah don't know each other who else did it, and it's not like there's a group or a gang that's meeting every day. Unlike in a college where you can make so many friends groups, and even the nerdiest people find their own group.
Yeah.
So you have a social group, relatability, everything there. So I think personally, so yeah, I think. Yeah, I think mental toll it definitely takes. Like when you're not doing good in life, then you start to question all of your decisions
True.
at once. But going back, I think first dropping out, convincing my parents was probably easier than convincing my elder brother, who is much more protective. He was telling me like, "What the fuck are you doing with your life?" Um, for my parents, like I first went to my mom and told me, "Okay, you will spend this much on my college for the next 4 years.
Ah,
If I get a job through this boot camp, I can like rather than spending like that 8, 12, 14 lakhs, I can start earning like 5, 6, 7, 8 lakhs
right
every
now.
once I get a job through this boot camp."
Yeah.
And that was a clear value proposition that I told her, and and maybe because she's an entrepreneur herself, like
Oh.
she has her own mutual funds and financial advisory business.
Hmm.
Maybe she understood where I'm coming from, and that's she felt that's a path that I could take. And I think, yeah, I think similarly convincing my father was easy, but when I told my brother, there was a whole ruckus. So what happened was like eventually I told him that hey, I've talked to my college and I'll be doing parallelly my college alongside my job, and that was like a negotiation, like a middle ground.
But it was a lie.
It was a lie because I went to the HOD and everything, and
So did you first drop out and then told your family, or did you tell your family first and then drop out? What was the sequence? Because simultaneously, I'm sure it wouldn't have happened.
right, right, yeah, I think it happened in stages. I mean, I was still going to college while I was part of the boot camp.
Hmm.
Um, Interestingly, I got the interview call when I was sitting in my class. I'd given the hackathon round. I was kind of shortlisted for the first initial screening. Um, and the initial screening, yeah, happened on a Zoom.
Hmm.
I received a call from them, and I like rushed out of my class, found an empty spot in the college, and took that interview, which was a good experience. And yeah, so I dropped out of college here once I got the job offer. I started working from like we had a small training period, so I started working from home. I stopped going to college. Once I got like an internship offer letter, I probably started stopped going to college, and once I got the full time offer, then everything was like set in stone. Okay,
Hmm.
now what I wanted it's done, and I had to pursue that. But when I was like exactly making the transition, yeah, it was hard. My brother was like shouting at me, and there was that ruckus. But yeah, somehow things went by. He was the one that went with me to Chennai to drop me. So I mean, everybody is coming from a good place. Everybody
Yeah,
knows your hardest life, and everybody wants to do the
correct.
best for you. I mean, to this very day, even like a week back, I still get questioned on my decisions. Like, finish that, like right now, an online degree to keep my family happy, and they are asking me every other week, when is it getting completed? When is it getting
So are
completed?
you completing it or not? Do you want to reveal it?
I am. Slowly and gradually. I mean, you evolve as a person, and my viewpoint on college education has also evolved.
Hmm.
So I would not say that, um, yeah, I think dropping out makes sense in very, very less cases.
Hmm.
If you are really that great, then you will find a way to manage everything alongside your college. Like get like passing marks and then focus on whatever you want. And most colleges nowadays have incubators. So if you want to pursue entrepreneurship, you can definitely find ways for you to make it work. And as an entrepreneur, you will have to find ways to make things work.
Hmm.
Um, so this will be a good practice for you to, if you really want to be an entrepreneur, manage college and your company together. So my viewpoints have evolved on that. But yeah, that was how my journey was. Convincing my parents was easier. My brother was harder. Told him it was a lie for 1 year that I am doing college parallelly alongside my job, but I wasn't. My HOD shouted at me when I told him I was leaving college. I've got this job and everything, and he didn't believe me. Like, क्या ये first year वाले को ऐसे पसंद आता है? ये क्या कर रहा है तू?
Looking back, like all this thing, I mean, right now you are in a much better place than you were in first year, right? But if you were to suggest someone, right, who was about to make the same decision, hey Harsh, I'm getting a job or an internship. Let's say I come to you right now, right? I am getting graduate next year. So the question in my context does not make a lot of sense. But let's say in first year I would have come to you that Harsh, I'm getting this job or I got this job or internship. Should I drop out or should I stay in college, right? What would you have suggested someone back then to someone?
I would have suggested that, like now is the time for remote internships, remote jobs.
Hmm,
So if you are really interested in getting a job, like why do you want to do it? You want to gain real world experience?
hmm,
Then yeah, you just do it remotely, manage your college alongside, get your passing marks,
hmm,
and then focus all of your main energy on your performing in your internship or your job.
hmm.
I think at my time there was not that huge culture of remote work. Even I myself didn't knew that remote work existed. But
Pre-COVID.
after COVID or during COVID, the whole wave of remote work has come,
Hmm,
and it has stayed even after that.
hmm,
Nowadays I see people doing work full time or internships. Some rare cases even from first or second year.
hmm, hmm, hmm,
Uh, so I think if you're dropping out, yeah, right now there are so many options. The work dynamic has changed,
hmm,
so you can pursue actually employment opportunities alongside your college. So you don't need to even drop out. Just like get passing marks, get that paper of degree out, and yeah, you'll be good. I think passing marks wouldn't be hard, and yeah, just get that tick box done, and it keeps your options open, helps you in visas. Like let's say, I think there's that UK talent visa. There are so
ah,
many visas that need like a checkbox of a degree.
yeah,
So you are shooting yourself in the foot if you are not doing that.
correct.
Because otherwise, you need to get a visa, then you have to be like really exceptionally crazy, right? So to justify not being a dropout, you have to be like really very extraordinary.
Hmm.
Most cases. So yeah, I would suggest, yeah, if you want to do entrepreneurship or job alongside your uh, then yeah, don't drop out. Try to find a way to make it work alongside college. I'm sure you can.
So how was the COVID experience? Were you working remotely during COVID? What happened during COVID? Because you just dropped out and you just got a job and then COVID happened. How was the mental space back then? Like, did I make a mistake dropping out or did I make a mistake, getting into this job or leaving this job? What was the mental space during COVID as a student dropout or something like that?
Right, I think my mentor even at the job suggested that dude, like, pick up an online degree at least and finish it.
Hmm.
Keep your options open. So yeah, college wise I was sorted because I started doing an online degree right there and then. I enrolled myself in some program.
Hmm.
Though I switched to the IIT program later, I enrolled in some Amity online program, but the IIT program launched right there
Hmm.
after a couple of months. So I made the decision, hey, that's a much better brand, and I switched to that.
Hmm.
Um, I think COVID, yeah, I think socializing one part is one big part of everything.
Yeah.
Like personally, I feel that I grew a lot in school, especially in 11th, 12th, 10th, seeing people around me doing so many different things, leading a fun life and everything, being so good in their personal lives, let's say about dating or just like going out, traveling and everything.
Hmm.
Seeing other people having an interesting peer group helps you grow.
Yeah.
Um, and I was also seeing that in college that, in my first semester, I was making friends, was getting more comfortable talking to girls and everything. That was a big blocker for me. Um, so yeah, I think I felt that, dropping out of college that, um, uh, but I felt that, like I'll be working in person, so I still get to have a socializing experience. But I think COVID happened and all of that failed. But I think it that in-person thing didn't happen for anyone.
Hmm.
College students they didn't get to go to college, and even I myself didn't get to live that fun work life that I wanted to do.
Hmm.
So definitely, I think it was hard for people. But I think the first 2 months were interesting because I was in Chennai and we were locked in our apartments. But it was a fun time. We were like making food. I was the person who I did not know how to make good rotis or vegetables. So I think I mostly like my roti sekta tha and I used to wash the utensils without
So
flags.
you were not the cook, you were the helper,
Yeah, yeah, you
the
could say that.
kitchen helper.
Yeah. I think it was a good experience. All of that was interesting. Like buying utensils. The first
Hmm.
week we came there, we went to the supermarket, went like frying pan, everything and
Buying
everything.
utensils are the hardest part of moving out, right? If
Yeah.
I get to buy utensils, I'm like, I mean, do I take this much big plate or this big or this big, which is the appropriate size? How much of
But
this? It's just so confusing. I would rather, automate
second,
that
you will
stuff.
call your mom, right?
Exactly.
क्या mix करूँ, कितना
मम्मी
क्या
मम्मी
mix
कौन सा चम्मच बेटर होता है like this is so and we overlook such little things when we are uh, dependent on our parents or house help that we just overlook all those stuff, right? If we are eating food and leaving the plate as it is, कल को वो साफ नहीं कर पाओगे. You have to drain into water and then keep it. It's just so little things just teaches you when you just move out.
Yeah,
It's
yeah, I think all of
crazy.
the things we took granted at home, we have to deal with them one by one when you move out. Washing clothes, drying them out, ironing, everything. Yeah,
Exactly, every
yeah,
little thing.
yeah.
Also,
So,
then after Chennai happened, startup happened, and then you finally went into your current stint, that is tech career, right? And I've been following you on Twitter since then, and I've seen it grow, right, from your first client to now, multiple listings and multiple clients. That happens. It's awesome. But do you want to show us your tattoo that you get for tech career? That should
oh
be the
yeah,
highlight.
yeah. So
Yes.
I did a tweet also, like
Yeah.
uh,
Skin in the game.
yeah, yeah, like get your company tattoo printed and call it skin in the game, and that's what.
Exactly.
Um, I don't know how did I get inspired for this. Maybe because of Jensen Huang.
Mm,
He also has the Nvidia tattoo.
yeah.
Yeah, and I thought, yeah, I mean, let's commit. And then I committed by getting this tattoo.
How's
One,
it? How's the experience going? How is it going? B- but like, do you see any like what was the inspiration behind building tech career? Do you see any gap between what the candidates are doing or what the students are doing and what should they be doing and what the employees are expecting and what should they expect, right? There should be a gap, right? Which I think every recruiting service is trying to fulfill that gap between expectations of students versus expectations of candidates. So what are those major, pitfalls or gaps that you see in the market right now? Being on the other side that you are right now, you're not a candidate anymore, you are a recruiter. So how does that perspective change?
I think I started this thing out as a hobby to help, like, connect my founder friends who are looking for interns or full
Hmm.
timers.
Hmm.
Um, Whoever I knew, I connected them, and then things happened. Some liked them, some did not like the references that I made. But yeah, I think in some overall, I was able to make a positive impact, and I was able to, like, and I thought, hey, I could maybe do something like this full time, maybe do it in a much better way, do it full time, and um, I think gaps wise, I think talent exists.
Hmm.
It's just that it's hard to find it, figure out
Why
what's
why
the
why
best.
do you say that talent is hard to find?
Because whenever you apply, right, whenever someone posts a job on, let's say, LinkedIn or well found, they get flooded with applicants.
Hmm.
But it gets humanly impossible to go through all of them. Like,
Hmm.
I also, when I did hiring for myself initially in DevKit,
Hmm.
I also like went on to well found and LinkedIn. But you get so many applicants, it's hard to find the best fit. And yeah, I think it's a matter of, I think talent exists.
Hmm.
Within that 100, definitely there will be at least five folks that might be relevant for you,
Hmm.
and two of them you can hire. So that's where we come in. Doing all of this manual review, can be boresome. Um, and then you have to invest so much resources in that, and that's taking your time away from like building your product or doing sales and everything. So I felt that it's just a matter of finding the right people and connecting them with the employers.
Hmm.
So that's what we do. Like, a company comes up, says we need a full stack developer. We look at our talent pool that we have uh, built by posting on socials, and then we have gathered from traditional platforms like LinkedIn and Wellfound.
Yeah.
And then with AI, we do first level of filtering. Okay, these are the candidates that are absolutely not relevant. We discard them away. And then from the probable good ones, we find the best fits. So out of 100, we shortlist like 10 or 5, and we send that across to the companies, and then they make a higher interview and everything. So I think, yes, the gaps are, I think the problem statement is that companies get flooded with applicants
Hmm.
whenever they want to hire somebody. Um, and a lot of times gets wasted in going through unqualified profiles, and all of that we are trying to say, like, let's say you are hiring for Golang or PHP,
Hmm.
we try to look for relevant experience, or either through work experience or through projects. um, yeah, and I think regular recruiters just like rely on keyword search or everything,
Yeah.
and they are not able to like gauge if this person is really the right fit, or they are just like, you know bypassing the keyword match through those
How
keyword
much
hacks.
how
There is
much how much does those keywords or those ATS scores matter? Or do they even matter? I'm not sure if you're aware of the recent ATS drama that happened.
Yeah, I think every other week that drama comes up in a new format by somebody else. So e-lafras are a big part of Twitter, but
We should make a tech ke Kalesh like Ghar ke Kalesh for just tech lafdas.
yeah. Oh,
We
actually,
should yeah, we should make something like tech ke Kalesh. You know,
right? That would
Jason
be
Jason
nice.
Levine is doing this meme newsletter
Okay,
where he
okay.
posts, where you get every new meme each week or I think twice a week. We
Yeah,
should
also, but what is book? Memes make millions, or
yes,
something
yes.
like that.
So we should build a tech ke Kalesh kind of thing, like
Yeah,
just
that'll
like Ghar
be
ke
good.
Kalesh.
That will be good. That will be good marketing. Yeah, solid idea
But
actually.
anyways, how does let's see apart from the jokes, let's say I applied to a job, right? Or somebody is applying to a job. What are those things that just makes you go like, fuck, I'm not even seeing this resume further, right? This is just bad, reject, right? Not even a single chain of thought. And what are those things that will just make like I'm calling this person or I'm hiring this person right now? I don't even need to know further. Like, what is those, two horizons where you just go like, this is bad, or like this is super good. Like, what does those resume thing looks like?
I think bad is simple. I think anything that is beyond one page. I think definitely in some cases 2-page resumes are also considered. or more pages are considered if you're able to impress in the first page or capture the interest in the first page,
Hmm.
then okay, then they are forgiving and go to the second or third page.
Hmm.
But generally, like yeah, if your resume is more than one page, it's like a off feeling. If it's not well formatted or it's not in a standard format,
Hmm.
because like see, from the eye of a recruiter or a hiring manager, they get 100 resumes every day.
Yeah.
If everybody has the resume in the same format,
Hmm.
it's so much easier to scan through the resume and find okay if this person is relevant or not.
Hmm.
But if you're adding a personal profile photo in some place, adding fancy colors and doing 3, 4 column layout resumes,
Hmm.
makes it harder to like scan through things.
Okay.
Uh, I think just making it as convenient as possible is the way to go. So I think yeah, instant rejection would be something that I have seen resumes where there is not even a single project. There's like looking for a job, um, college,
Hmm.
school. Um, Basically, that's it. In some cases, there are just certifications. So at this point, if you have zero projects in your resume, I don't think any good startup or company will even consider the resume. So projects is the first one, right? You need to have projects, and even within those, right? Like if you if the GitHub link is missing, like how do I find your GitHub project?
Yeah.
I'm not going to a GitHub profile to find that project which you have named in your resume.
Hmm.
Like people have very less time. So if you have the GitHub link, that's first good step. If you have deployed it, then brilliant. I can go and try the product out and see how it works.
Hmm.
I think yeah, instant rejection is something which doesn't have projects, is very bad formatted,
Hmm.
doesn't have any useful info, is very generic. That's
Hmm.
like instant rejection. Um, and in some cases, like there are profile specific rejections. Like I'm looking for explicitly PHP experience, but someone has been working in Mon for a long while.
Hmm.
While I feel they can adapt to PHP because they are an engineer, they know Mon,
Yeah.
but sometimes the company is like looking for very specific experience. Like this company is looking for WordPress plugin development experience.
Yeah.
So if you don't know PHP, then it will be harder for you to pick that up. And the market is big, the candidates are so many. So obviously I'll prefer someone who has at least some amount of PHP experience over someone who has a lot of Mon experience, just because I feel they will fit in into the role much more easily. um, so that is like profile specific rejections. um, I think good instant good impression is where your projects have made revenue. But I think
Hmm.
that's expecting too much. I think if your product has live users, that's great. If your product is functioning very well,
Hmm.
while log in, I'm able to use all of the features. That is a good experience because so many people add projects with their live links, GitHub links, but still half of them are not even working. Like some even authentication is not working. Like
Hmm.
so that's you try to do something good, added a deployed project and everything, but auth itself was not working. So all of that impression gets lost.
Hmm.
Um, yeah, I think even the things that feel table stakes are not there. Like good, well functioning, decent projects, a lot of people are missing out. So if just build a e-commerce for like Ben 10, but at least the product should work completely, right?
Yeah.
I feel that people badmouth these standard projects like e-commerce or all of that.
Hmm.
I would just like build a specific theme store, like build a Samay Rana ka merch or some Samay Rana YouTube or something.
Hmm.
But like, that YouTube clone should be functioning completely.
Hmm.
That would be good. But a lot of people don't even have that.
I
So
see.
that's sad. But yeah, instant good is something that has live users. If your project is unique, great. If it has live users, great, even better. If it has revenue, nothing better than that. Yeah, and I think seeing founder things can be um, founder experiences is great if someone has that, like someone started something in their college and everything.
Hmm.
But it should be like relevant to the opening. Like let's say you founded let's say a newsletter
Hmm.
or some marketing service. While that is great, but that's not relevant to the job opening, so that might not give you that many points, but probably good to include it. But yeah, I think, yeah, and open source contributions is definitely something that is
Yeah,
a big point.
correct.
Hackathon is another best point.
Hmm.
Best thing about hackathons is you can get prize money, get to build a good project for your portfolio,
Hmm.
and add the hackathon win itself as an achievement.
Hmm.
So I think hackathons is the best way to like pad up your resume very well. I think great projects, hackathons, open source contributions. These are some ways when you are at an entry level role.
Right. Also, coming to your, networking adventures, I've seen you being, touch with some of the, uh, from the likes of people like Varun Maya, Jacob Singh. How did that happen? How was the experience of meeting those people? Were like, did you, they say like never meet your heroes or idols, something like that. Was it similar to that, or like where enjoyed those meetings? What was that? How did you even reach there?
Yeah, it's a complex thing, but I think yeah, meeting all of those folks was definitely a great experience. Wasn't expecting how that happened, but I think yeah, social media is a beautiful thing.
Right.
Twitter especially is a beautiful thing. Most of my interesting things in life have been through Twitter. Like Z Fellows, I discovered through Twitter.
Hmm.
I tweeted like about Z Fellows, Matt Espinoza, and that's how I discovered Z Fellows. Back then, they had like a sketchy website.
they,
Right
they
now,
still they still have kind of an MLM-ish looking website.
I don't know. It looks good to me, but I mean, if you want to compare it to like 2 years, 3 years back,
Hmm.
you would have like left off thinking, "What scam is this?" Um, but I still, anyways, had my what do you say reservations, but I still applied.
Hmm.
Interview happened and I got in. So Z Fellows I discovered through Twitter. Varun Maya, meeting with Varun Maya, Jacob Singh, and a couple other great folks happened through Twitter. I think the story about meeting with Varun Maya was that I wanted to build a personal website for myself,
Hmm.
and I liked his website. He had released a couple of years back. It was not no longer available,
Hmm.
so I went to Wayback Machine,
Hmm.
put out the URL, and I found it. And I made a tweet. Hey, I'm making a website like yours. Please don't sue me. I like the design. Um, so he just like DM'd me, I think, because I had tagged him and everything, and he probably saw my profile, saw it was interesting, and then he said, "Hey, we are doing this series on indie hackers. Like,
Hmm.
it's just we would like you to hop on." But that did not end up happening. But I got to meet him in Bangalore in person in his office at AOS Labs. I think AOS Labs, AVTV, everything runs from a single place. They
Hmm.
have a huge office, and we chatted for about 30 minutes, 1 hour. And when you meet the person in person, you get to see a different side of them.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was a great, warm experience. Learned a lot of things in that 1 hour. And yeah, I think I got a picture with him. I have not like tweeted out or anything, but yeah.
I might use that for the cutout reel.
Okay. I mean, I have other photos with like Jacob Singh and
Yeah.
Prasanna. But I think it's a beautiful thing, and I think was what one thing that I find interesting is that um, like maybe you have noticed that maybe some of your friends who are at the same level do not support you,
Hmm.
but these crazy people who have done
Like
so
so
much
much. Yeah.
100x more than you are willing to like give you their time and love and support.
Hmm.
Like like I I have texted Varun like a bunch of times and he has responded within like 5 or 10 minutes. That's crazy. Like none of my friends are so fast and everything. So I think if you have a clear, crisp communication, no matter how great people they are, like they want to see, especially young founders, support them.
Hmm.
Um, and I think yeah, that's been my experience. The Jacobson meet happened through Twitter.
Hmm.
He did a tweet that I'm free these days. Feel free to reply or DM. And I quickly made a reply, and then we talked in DMs and we set up a meet. So I think yeah, um, just like coming across, I think increasing the surface area, right? Like tweeting things out is one great way to increase your lakka surface area. So yeah, I think
That
one
is
of my
a that is that we should put that on a t-shirt. Tweeting
yeah
things is the best way to increase luck.
yeah. I think put yourself out there and things will happen.
Hmm.
Um, yeah,
Yeah. Now what is next? What's your future? I won't say 5 year plan because that is very vague. Like 5 years, nobody can predict what happens in 5 years. But what's your next like 2025 plan ish? Like what are you trying to get done by that? Like do you have any specific, numbers or like a vague goal or a scenario where you want to be? What is 2025, has in store for you according to you? What do you want to get by then?
I think by 2025 I want to finish this 12 months 12 startups challenge for sure.
Hmm. Okay, what is that? Can you tell us a little bit? What is that?
Yeah, so if so, Peter Levels is like a popular solopreneur. Like
Yeah.
he has built like tens of products by himself, have launched it.
Hmm.
Countless have failed, but the ones that have made big.
Hmm.
He does about $2.5 million a year alone through all of his products. So he did this challenge of building 12 startups in 12 months, and these
Hmm.
are not like startups in the general sense. Like you can consider it as products, like 12 different products in 12 months.
Hmm.
It's a way to like rapidly experiment and see what works out
Hmm.
and focus on the things that are doing well.
Hmm.
So I have a bunch of ideas that I wanted to try out, and I think this challenge is could be the way to make things work for me. Because what I've realized that I think when you make your first product, you are so particular about things, but once you make your first or second product, you are able to slowly get a bird's eye view of things and get to know how things work end to end.
Hmm.
Then your next thing becomes better, your next things become better. um, for example, the first learning platform that I built during the time of my job, um, it took me like so much money. I ran Instagram ads, I put out stories, I made these fancy thumbnails with Canva, so many. I invested months to get
Do
like,
you think ads, sorry to interrupt, do you think ads, like is as in social media ads, plays a crucial role in startup ecosystem? Because let's say I'm building a tool which is very developer specific, right? Maybe some kind of Node.js tool. If I run Instagram ads for that, that is just waste of money because my person who is going to use my tool are not using Instagram a lot. So I might run to Twitter to build ads. But they are smart enough to look through that ad cutout. Like I think 80% of might also have YouTube Premium, so they will never look at those ads, right? So how does ad helps in startups, or do they even help, or they are just a waste of money to make marketing team happy that hey we are doing this with the money? What is
I think when you make ads work, it's a beautiful thing. एक रुपए डालो 2 रुपए निकलेगा.
that?
When you figure out that right, it's a beautiful thing.
Hmm.
Um, Obviously, that will not happen always. Like if you put in 100 rupees, you'll get 200 rupees of sales. But I think once you make it work, it's a beautiful way to grow your business.
Hmm.
Um, for all products, it doesn't make sense. And you have to be really specific with your target audience and everything. But I think ads have their role to play. E-commerce brands, drop shippers, all of these people make things work with ads. Um, yeah, I think, and when you have money, right, you do ads not just to increase sales, but also for brand awareness and branding and everything.
Hmm.
Ad helps you as a brand in whole, not in just in sales, in short-term sales. Um, so ads is definitely something that you have to play out very carefully. If you don't do it well, yeah, it's just a burn of money. So I think yeah, when you have to get your customer acquisition cost when your CAC is lower from your um, I think LTV, the average long-term value that you get from a customer.
Hmm.
I think it makes sense. Yes, I think ads have their role to play, but um, it won't work in like a B2B SaaS, I think. Probably B2B SaaS is more cold outreach, very specific
Hmm.
targeting. For a developer, product ads may not work out well. Doing something like AppSumo, Product Hunt, these are the channels is the way to go. Um, or something like a consumer app where you get the person to the app once and then you get them hooked. Ads is something that can work out, or you have a high ticket item to sell,
Hmm.
perfume or some designer clothing. Um, so I think it's very specific. I don't have great experience with ads. I ran some Instagram ads 2 3 years back. Yeah, I forgot which track were we on, but yeah, I think we were talking about like building products,
12,
right?
12 months challenge.
Yeah. So my first product that I built, the learning platform, it took me like 8 months to gather 1,000 or 2,000 users,
Hmm.
and that too I had paid ads. That was crazy. And the second time I launched DevKit, like I built the product in 1 or 2 weeks.
Hmm.
Yeah, within 2 weeks, building, launching, everything happened. And within those 2 weeks, guess how many users I got? Like 2,000 or 2,500.
Hmm.
So compare that to like 8 months of
Paid
effort
ads. Yeah.
users, and here I'm building and launching a product. And
Hmm.
so I think as an entrepreneur, your views changes, strategies you get to know change, and it's beautiful if you have a SEO optimized product and you're launching a product hunt, because so many other websites pick up launches happening on product hunt and they list them on their website, and so you have this nice effect of SEO boost and everything happening. Because I haven't pushed out an update to DevKit, but there's a lot of organic traffic that is coming in that is still driving sales.
Hmm.
I think as an entrepreneur evolve, so I think the idea with these 12 startups, and I have a bunch of like range of ideas. Like I want to build a few B2B style ideas,
Hmm.
B2C style ideas. So all of these 12 months, I think, would be a good learning experience. Obviously, I'll be focused on 1 or 2 ideas. Like tech career is something that will keep going on parallelly, like as a main focus.
Hmm.
Um, but yeah, I think just like writing, right? Your first, second, third short stories will be bad, but
Yeah.
by fifth, sixth, you'll know कि भाई हीरो ऐसे आएगा, ऐसे दो तीन ट्विस्ट डालने हैं, ऐसे धमाकेदार
Huh.
एंडिंग करनी है. So I think that's with you get to like build these personal playbooks for yourself. I know a personal playbook कि भाई 2 हफ्ते आओ प्रोडक्ट बनाओ, 1 हफ्ते तक हाइप बनाओ एंड लॉन्च करो प्रोडक्ट
I
पे.
think I think this is the playbook if someone wants to uh, launch their own thing. This is the playbook they should follow, right?
Right. And
Yeah.
things are not that hard. Like everybody does it. There's so many products that
Yeah.
do it. You just have to get to know this and just like replicate on this. And I'm sure I'll find better ways as I keep working on more products. So I think that's the whole idea about 12 months, 12 products in 12 months challenge. The first will be going out towards the end of September.
Best of
So
luck.
anybody
We
who's
can we
watching,
can we can time the release of this video with that if you want. Like, let's make an ad video out of it.
sure, sure.
Right, Harsh. Thanks for these insights that we don't really get, from someone who actually went through all the journeys, getting into college, dropping out, building a own company, right? Some kind of Zuckerberg-ish journey that someone had, if we can call it a term. So yeah, thanks. If you want to tell my viewers to subscribe, can tell them because they are not subscribing. So I want you to tell them instead of me.
Please subscribe. Smash that subscribe button, that red subscribe button. I'm
Yes.
sure you can see that. It's hard to miss. So please subscribe this subscribe button. And Ishar is coming with great talks every other week,
Yeah.
and I'm sure you will love the content.
All right. Thanks for joining us. It was a nice, you know, getting these insights and learning a lot about your journey. Because when we meet outside camera, off camera, we don't really talk about, how the business side of things, right? So it was refreshing for me as well. Right.
Thank
Bye,
you so much.
guys. If you like this video, feel free to follow Harsh on his Twitter. I'll pin that in description. He posts sometimes very crazy things and sometimes very amazing things that you can follow and get insights for, right? Uh,
If
All
you
right.
can beat the cringe, only then follow.
No, no, follow the cringe because I'm sure you'll learn something, right? He has been very humble, but he's a very seasoned developer and he's a very seasoned entrepreneur as well, right? So feel free to follow this channel if you like this video, if you want such videos, and I'll see you next one. Goodbye.